Hadouken! Sonic boom!
Alright, so with this episode today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down a black belt versus a brown belt. The good thing here is they've both got a heap of experience, they've both been training for many years, they get caught in some very, very funky techniques. I'm going to break all these techniques down, so stick with me to the end of the video. Alright, sweet, so let's just jump straight into it. So we have Gareth in the black gi and Ben in the white gi.
Round one.
So shaking hands. And alright, looks like Gareth is dropping down, so easiest sweep ever for Ben. Ben's up on top. Gareth wants to focus on his guard. Alright, right there you can see that Gareth is already focusing on blocking that crossface. Much harder for Ben to get that upper body control. And it forced Ben to switch his base. Now this is a good position for keeping your partner flat on their back when you can't get that upper body control. Much harder for Gareth to hip escape. Okay, you can see Ben really focusing on trying to get his foot out in this position. He's already got his knee out. Okay, so right there. So in this position, Gareth is in a quarter guard. Ben's getting very close to passing. Let's see what happens next. All right, so you can see Gareth digging in his right hand, maybe trying to go for a deep half guard in this position, but he's got to be very careful. You can see Ben's trying to look for that gift wrap position. So there's a lot of different ways of taking the back. You can see Gareth's hands are together. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus on a bunch of different ways of when we are in this position, when we have the gift wrap, different ways of attacking your opponent's back. I've got a very, very easy back take if I'm driving forward and I'm able to get that gift wrap there. I can hold here, hold here, hold here. I tend to hold here because then it's very easy for me to get that hook in and go into my sit up. Okay, I've also got another option here, so circle this way. Okay, if I'm here, I can also circle around. Now I can go nice and tight, start to fall backwards, hold on to his hip out, and then I can work on getting my hook in that way as well. I do have also another option of when we're in a quarter mount. So we're here like so. Okay, now I can obviously work on my normal roll here, go for my banana splits, lots of options of calf crushes. And then again, if he's a yoga master or his ankles are together, I can also take his back as well. And then get the hook in here. So a lot of options whenever we have, just drop it down, whenever we are in quarter guard here, and I'm able to push across and get a gift wrap there like that. Okay, so not that successful with taking the back, but then again, he's got a very good underhook and a very good crossface in this position. His head's nice and low, and look for Ben to try and get his guard pass in this position. So kicking his knee out and all, there we go. So he's got his foot free, he's got a guard pass, and straight away, knee on belly. And in that position, you can see what he's doing with his left hand. He's already trying to set up a choke from side control. So you can see Gareth is a little bit switched on to this one. He's pushing on the bicep and circling around to, yeah, there we go. So Gareth's left hand is on Ben's bicep, avoiding him from stepping the leg over. Right there, okay. You saw that Gareth shrimped down a little bit to avoid the choke, and Ben hooked over the top of Gareth's arm to avoid him from going to turtle position. Ben's doing a really good job of keeping his shoulders nice and low, which makes it very hard for Gareth to move and reclaim his guard or even get to turtle position. And there we go, knee right on the opposite side already, and looks like he's trying to set up a choke on the opposite side. So there's a very sneaky thing that Gareth does in this position to escape. So look at what he's doing with his left hand. He's actually holding onto Ben's forearm, and you can see his right hand is reaching up around the back of Ben's belt. Okay, so in this position right there, so he essentially took away Ben's base. But in saying that, he's very close to getting caught in a triangle. So look for Ben to try and flare the arm out to get his left leg free and start to set up a triangle. Very, very hard to do in this position. What we are gonna do, we're gonna break down a bunch of different submission attacks and sweeps that Ben can do in this position if he's unsuccessful with getting the triangle. We're here like so. Obviously he's trying to work on his guard pass there. I'm not always that lucky that I can actually bring that leg out and go for the triangle. I'm kind of caught in this position here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold onto the sleeve. I'm gonna bring this leg to the opposite side. I'm gonna scoop underneath the leg, kick that one through, then I can look at getting my triangle from here. Okay, another option as well. Okay, I can bring this leg over. Now, I'm holding onto the sleeve, I can drive him over just to create enough space as he comes back up. I can go back into the same triangle. I could also use that space to go into my normal triangle. So obviously I can't get this leg out just yet. So I bring this one over, I kick, hold the other sleeve, I let him come back up, and then I can get that leg free. I can rotate around if need be, or I could have just used that for a sweep to get up on top. So a couple different options when you're caught in that position and you can't just get the normal triangle. Okay, so we're jumping straight back into it. So as soon as Ben felt like he wasn't going to have much success with the triangle, he started to hip escape away and get back to a much more effective guard. And it looks like Gareth kind of accepted that sweep. Looks like he's going for a leg lock in this position. Clearly a leg reap, but that's all good. Ben looking to the corner, like where the hell's the DQ? Maybe a straight foot lock or a heel hook. All right, there we go. A Ben in that position, back in Ben's guard. So we'll see what happens here. So you can already see that Ben's starting to pass the lapel around the back. He actually strings a bunch of different attacks together in this position. So watch what he does with this lapel. So he could maybe start to thread in, obviously, gi chokes, but he's going for an arm. Okay, Gareth did the right thing, bit of a backstroke to get his arm free. Now he's threatening the choke. Gareth's getting his posture, and that allowed Ben to throw his leg over the top. Now he's starting to threaten the triangle. So he just essentially strung 3 to 4 attacks together. Gareth is doing the right thing at pushing Ben's inside of his thigh down with his elbow. So he can maybe circle around to go to a side control, or maybe in this case, there we go, staple the knee over the top. All right, so you already see that Ben's pushing on the side of the stomach and also the thigh of Gareth, trying to scoot backwards and get back to maybe a half guard or a butterfly in this position. Gareth trying to get that upper body control. Okay, so there we go. Essentially the exact same position as when Ben was on top before. Gareth holding the toes, trying to avoid that, maybe that butterfly hook in this position. And Ben hiding his foot, going for maybe a lockdown. Okay, Gareth's ankle was free in that position, and there we go, exactly the same as before. So Ben is in a quarter guard in this position. So Gareth trying to get his leg free, but no underhook, and trying to keep himself nice and high. He's got a couple of threats in this position, but Ben's no longer on his back, so he's got to be very wary in this position. Maybe a Kimura attempt. Okay, so what happens here? All right, Gareth is almost getting swept, and then he bases out nice and wide. So watch what Ben does with his right hand. He's actually passing the lapel around between Gareth's legs. Gareth is switched on. He's already going for a crossface in this position. Ben doesn't have that grip just yet. So you can see, all right, he's working for it right there. Okay, and you saw that Gareth started to pull Ben's lapel out. So he's actually got his hand around the back, and he's setting up his own choke in this position. So Ben's left hand is holding onto the lapel between Gareth's legs. So we are going to break down the options of things that he can do and also the options of things that Gareth can do in this position. But essentially, Gareth is threatening a choke that avoids Ben going for any sweeps in this position. Okay, so they both got caught in some very funky positions, so we'll just go over the options. Ben was on his side where Nick is in this position, and he passed the lapel around through the legs. So his options here, okay, he can drive me forward like that, where I'll end up in, say, turtle position. He's got other options as well. If I did try and pass, yeah, he can hold my sleeve as well. So hold the sleeve and then drive me forward, probably face plant a little, and I end up in my guard, okay? Another thing as well, I gotta be wary that if he's got this handle passed around, if I was to pass, it's gonna bring him up to a single leg position, where we're in single leg, he could put me on my back, go to a double leg, lots of different things can happen there. But what Gareth did to actually shut him down, so as he was setting this one up, pass it around, you saw that Gareth pulled this one out, a little bit easier than that, and he went around there like that. So this is putting a lot of pressure up in the armpit here. Okay, he had a good crossface initially, then he went around here like this. Okay, very, very hard. Every time Nick hip escapes in this position, it puts a lot of pressure. So it forced Ben to let go. So here in this position, he started to address this cross lapel choke. So we've got options here. So I'll go over them. So I'm going for a cross lapel choke, dropping into the mat. Easier said than done. More than likely, I'm going to have this arm to deal with. So as I'm going for it, we're here like so. Another option, I hold on, I pull. Now from here, it's just pressure down to get a choke. Hands together as well to get another choke if you want. And a bit of a show off one. When we're here, we can roll, hook the leg so we can't get up. I can do the exact same thing anyway. Okay, cool, so we're going straight back into it. So, failed attempt with the choke. Looks like Gareth is still trying to set it up, and he used that to backstep. So already you can see that Ben is triangling his legs in this position. So essentially hiding that knee from that knee bar. Gareth is trying to open up the legs. Okay, Ben's got his knee on the ground. Gareth's legs are apart, so he's got to be wary. And you saw him try to pull the leg up there, back to the triangle. His legs are too far apart, and there we go. That was a sweep for Ben in that position. Okay, now in Gareth's guard, Gareth's full guard. All right, so moving around, good overhook, trying to pull his leg free, and climbing up high and threatening the triangle. Okay, so look for Gareth to try and put his left foot onto Ben's hip and cut the angle. He's very square with him in this position, so he's not going to have much success with getting the triangle. So he's always got to hold the head, especially when he's opening his legs. For obvious reasons, Ben's going to get his posture. And there we go. Okay, Ben's out of that position. So Gareth has two options here. So it looks like he was not that successful with maybe going back to his guard. It's a little bit too late. So he's going to abandon that and he's going to try and roll to turtle. So you see he's trying to move away. Ben kept the pressure. He's already trying to cinch in a gi choke from behind. Okay, and throw in the hook. There we go. So in this position, Gareth's trying to obviously do like a bit of a backstroke movement here, peel the grip, and a bit of a hip escape. Okay, cool. And in this position, there we go, Gareth's on top. Ben holding onto the toes, abandon that. And already, he's already threatening with gi chokes. Maybe trying to set up maybe a normal plata in this position, getting that leg nice and high, go-go plata, depending on how flexible he is. Gave up on that. All right, so you can see with Ben's right hand, he's reaching his four fingers in behind the back of the gi. So what we are going to do, we're going to break down things that he can actually do in this position. Alright, so it's kind of come to my attention now that there's hardly anybody that's even subscribed to this channel from the people that actually watch this channel. So do yourself a favor, make sure you hit the notification bar. That way you'll get notified whenever I release content like this, and it also helps my channel. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Alright, back to the video. Okay, so the grip that Ben was trying to set up, he had four fingers inside and he had his palm facing up. He had his thumb on the other side and he gave Gareth that opening there like that. So it's quite easy for Nick to jump across and then get a guard pass. So what he was trying to do was drive this across and go for a baseball bat choke. So as he goes across, I can drive that one up and I'm basically just driving the elbow to the ceiling. A little bit risky, but here I can keep rolling to my stomach. Okay, so he's got two options. He can address the choke and get swept and I keep rolling him over, or he bases out like he did and I get the submission there. So let's play it through a little bit, let's see what happens. Okay, Gareth was wary of that one. He brought his hand across and then working into a guard pass, a crossface. The crossface behind the back of Ben's neck is going to prevent him from rolling away into turtle position. And there we go, that's the end of the roll.
You win!
Alright, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you would like to see more things like this and want nothing more than to improve your Jiu-Jitsu game, make sure you click that link there. It will take you directly to my Jiu Jitsu courses, where I have a hell of a lot of different courses on guard passing, how to escape different positions, the armbar, the triangle choke, and a hell of a lot more. So make sure you check that out. And until next time, peace.
This is very exciting, but